You're listening to AI Prism from Seoul Economic Daily.
Samsung Electro-Mechanics just doubled next year's Capex to 6 trillion won, about $4.2 billion, and moved up a Philippine plant's launch by roughly 2 quarters. That's not a routine expansion. It's a race against a supply squeeze that's reshaping how fast companies need to move. China's semiconductor output has grown 350% in a decade, and experts are warning Korea's tech lead could erode without a similar long-term strategy. Meanwhile, a Korean AI company just proved autonomous industrial control works at scale, across steel, oil refining, and cement plants. And China's AI models are now matching US flagship performance at a fraction of the cost, which changes the calculus for any company building AI into its operations. It's Monday, August 3rd. Let's look at a business story shaping corporate Korea. Korean manufacturers are being squeezed from 2 directions: surging Chinese capacity in legacy chip production and runaway demand for AI-related components straining existing supply chains. At the same time, a growing body of expert opinion argues Korea's short political cycles make it harder to sustain the kind of multi-decade industrial policy that has underpinned China's technology push. Against this backdrop, Korean firms are moving to lock in demand through long-term contracts and rapid capacity expansion, rather than waiting for policy support. Here's what the numbers show. Samsung Electro-Mechanics signed long-term supply agreements with more than 10 hyperscalers and will start production at its Philippine MLCC plant as early as the first quarter of next year, about 2 quarters ahead of the original schedule. The company's Capex is set to double from 3 trillion won, about $2.1 billion this year, to 6 trillion won, about $4.2 billion next year, with the Philippine plant alone expected to cost over 1 trillion won, about $702 million. China's integrated circuit output hit 484.28 billion units last year, up 350% from 108.72 billion units in 2015, with China accounting for 72% of the world's added mature node capacity in that period. Professor Lee Woo-gun of Sungkyunkwan University argues China's 863 and 973 programs, running unbroken since the 1980s, gave it a policy continuity Korea has lacked. A structural gap, not a talent gap. Korean industrial AI firm Ineeji has now processed 11.67 million tons of continuous process data across steel, refining, and cement plants. And its autonomous control platform is already deployed with Japanese steel and cement clients. Korea's government plans to expand its M.AX AI Factory Alliance to 200 projects by 2027 and 500 by 2030, aiming to scale sovereign industrial AI models. DeepSeek released its V4 Flash model at 28 cents per million output tokens, far below Claude Opus 4.8's $25 or GPT 5.6's low-cost tier at $1.20, while matching or beating its own larger flagship model on coding benchmarks. Faster capacity, cheaper AI, and a widening policy gap. 3 pressures landing on corporate Korea's desk at the same time. So, what does this mean for corporate Korea? Earlier, we said Samsung Electro-Mechanics doubled its Capex and fast-tracked a plant. Here's what that actually means for you. Companies that can move from order book to production in months, not years, are the ones capturing AI-driven demand right now. The widening gap in policy continuity between China and Korea is becoming a genuine board-level risk factor, not just an academic talking point, especially for firms with multi-year capacity plans tied to Korean supply chains. And with AI model costs falling fast on the Chinese side, any company budgeting for AI deployment should be reassessing those assumptions before, not after, the next planning cycle. Samsung Electro-Mechanics' third-quarter earnings call for confirmation that AI server MLCC sales are climbing toward the projected 20% of total MLCC revenue. Whether Korea's National Assembly or the Ministry of Science and ICT moves on Professor Lee's call for longer-term, insulated tech policy planning. DeepSeek's forthcoming full release of its V4 Pro model, which could put further pricing pressure on U.S. flagship AI providers. That's today's AI Prism, CEO. This episode was produced with AI assistance based on Seoul Economic Daily reporting and reviewed by a human editor. AI Prism is a Juan Ifra award-winning series. We'll be back tomorrow.
You've been listening to AI Prism from Seoul Economic Daily.